miss having an inside scoring punch? This franchise didn't have it for so long. Barkley used to always say that the Thunder just don't get easy buckets, but now you have some inside scoring punch. Can you talk about what that adds?
Well, I think from a shooting percentage standpoint and from an opportunity to get fouled and get to the free throw line, I think as the year's gone on, our bigs have gotten better. Offensive rebounding helps that. Certainly deep post catches help that. But I think Steven continues to grow and develop offensively, and Ennis continues to grow and develop. So it was good. And then you obviously have a guy like Russell and Kevin that can post up as well. And Serge has had opportunities against smaller people. So we feel comfortable throwing the ball down to different people.
Coach, I know every game is big, but how pivotal can this be if you guys can win tonight, take a 2-0 series lead back home?
Yeah, I don't look at it like that. Right now it's a 48-minute game, and we got to look at making the corrections from game one that we need to do a better job that are going to carry the entire series. We'll have to do against them. There were some things that we can do better, execution-wise on both ends of the floor, but it's not really about what happens with the game. It's a matter of, we got to play for 48 minutes, and we got to play better than we did the other night. And we need to hopefully continue to play better each game that goes by.
Coach, what vision did you ask for Ibaka this year about the best way to use him?
I'm sorry?
What vision did you have for Ibaka this year about the best way to use him into this kind of basketball we wanted to play?
Yeah, well, Serge is a pretty flexible player. He, obviously over, I think, his career has continued to stretch his range and shoot the ball well. He gives us a stretch four that can knock down threes. Serge has always been a really good rim protector. He's a really good shot blocker. He's continued to do that. And, certainly I think developed his reputation as being a defender with his flexibility of playing low post defense and being able to do things on the perimeter.
What type of difference do you see in the running that the team has to do against the Golden State as opposed to the Spurs, and how much do you guys have to chase?
I said this about the Spurs. I thought they did a great job, in transition against us. Capitalizing, and they were really, really efficient. They didn't get necessarily a lot of transition opportunities, but the opportunities they did get, they were really good at. Listen, with the way Golden State plays, there's going to be a lot of moving and cutting and those kind of things, and you got to be able to guard that. And that's the way they play. So is there more movement and running? Yes, in certain situations, but I think in any game, transition defense is going to become really important. And then obviously, I said this before, San Antonio, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, and they're obviously two great teams, but they go about doing it differently in terms of the way they move and cut and play.
Well, not just in transition, but in the half court. How impressed are you with the way that Andre can stay with Klay Thompson and the way he moves?
Yeah, it's a challenge. Our guys, I thought, gave great effort in the half court. Andre's ability to stay with that, our ability to help and communicate, because you get into difficult situations with all their movement and their versatility, on their roster. But it requires not only Andre movement, it requires everybody kind of talking and communicating and helping each other.
In the past, Kevin had always been relatively open about liking to play the full first quarter, and now you're staggering. How does a coach approach, a guy of that stature and get him to buy into that process? Because that's a relative change from his normal routine.
No, I've always tried, as a coach, try to be direct, straightforward, and honest, in terms of what I think or what I'm looking at, as a coach. And Kevin is all about winning. He's extremely humble, and I think anything that you bring to him idea-wise that he feels is going to help the team, he's always open-minded to it. And I've said this before, I feel like my job, my responsibility for a guy like Kevin, is to help him play in rhythm, to help him play in space, to help him be efficient. But I also felt like staggering he and Russell would help our team a little bit more. And I think Kevin, and having that conversation with him, talking to him about that, was really, he was open to it. And I give him a lot of credit. Those guys, when I say those guys, Kevin and Russell in particular, when you come to them, they're all about doing what's best for the team and how they can help a team. Now, certainly they deserve the right to have their own opinions on things, as it relates to an idea. They may say, I don't know if I like that or not. And I may say, listen, I think we got to try it, see how it goes. And there's other times where I'll talk to them and say, no, you're right. So I think you work together. And it's just a matter of working with Kevin. And I give him credit that he was willing to do whatever he needed to do rotation-wise to try to help our team.
Coach, the rest of the league seems to be going toward a small ball, but you stick with your big. I mean, there was a volunteer for you. You want to play with big guys. What did you see that?
Well, I think our roster, we have flexibility. We played Kevin at the power forwards some in the first half. I think we have the flexibility to play small and to play big.